Hey champ, you been with a woman that seems all nice and loving in the beginning, but then they throw you heart-wrenching surprises later in the relationship. Or maybe you've heard stories of this happening to other guys. Well, let me show you the 8 red flags in women you should never ignore. This video could save you a lot of heartache, and you'll also learn how to avoid these women. When women walk away from men, it's not something that happens spontaneously. The red flags have been there, but it's us men who have failed to notice it, or we think it didn't matter. Don't wait until it's too late. But to notice these red flags, you have to control your emotions. So here are the 8 red flags you must never ignore in women. Please take this seriously. Number 1, she complains a lot. If she complains about everything as if she were the Red Queen, then you, my guy, could be in serious trouble. It's like trying to run a race while wearing a backpack full of bricks. It'll slow you down, drain your energy, and seriously mess with your motivation. Now, don't get me wrong, we all have our off days. It's okay to complain once in a while when there is a need to. But when she turns it into an Olympic sport, that's when things get toxic. It's like having a cheerleader around who only knows one routine: grumbling and more grumbling. And let me tell you, that is not the kind of support that's gonna get you across the finish line to relationship success. Let me break it down for you. When you're constantly bombarded with complaints, it's not just her mood that's contagious, it's the negativity. It sneaks into your thoughts, changes your outlook, and soon you turn into a grumpy man with a bad attitude to everyone around you. It just never gets better with a woman who enjoys nagging. Number 2, male besties. There's a saying that when the handshake goes beyond the elbow, then it's much more than a handshake. What I'm saying is that when her friendship with her male friends is too close, then there is reason to worry. I've seen cases of women introducing the man they're cheating with to the boyfriend or husbands. This happens more often than we even know. So much of it is kept secret and we would never discover. That's how bad this situation is. What makes it even more tricky is that sometimes she has no intention of cheating with her male friends. But things happen and mistakes are made. Besides, you know you can't trust any man. Most times that we are close to a lady, it's because we find her attractive. Not something some men want to admit, but it's just biology, nothing personal. A woman that doesn't take this biological possibility seriously is not being honest with herself or you. Having male besties should be a no-no. She would be in his arms before you know it. Number 3, she lacks ambition. You ever been involved with a woman who lacks ambition and never talks about anything important? Here's the thing, bro. If she doesn't really have any meaningful goals or ambitions that she's actively pursuing, that is a big red flag. I mean, imagine the kind of talks you could have if she was excitedly telling you about her dreams and the steps she's taking to make them happen. That's the stuff that can light up a conversation and make you feel connected on a whole new level. And hey, it's not just about her having ambitions. It's also about whether she lets you into her world. You know, sharing those thoughts and aspirations that she holds close. Trust, I've been there, man. Dated someone who was all surface and no substance. She lacked ambition and would prefer we gossip about other people as if we did not have our own lives to talk about. It might seem harmless at first, but trust me, over time it can and will start to weigh you down. It's like carrying around dead weight. If she's not adding anything meaningful to her own life, how can she add value to yours? Number 4, she has bad friends. Ever heard the saying, you can judge a person by the company they keep? It might sound cliche, but there's some real wisdom in those words. Imagine this. If she's hanging out with folks who are a bit rough around the edges, then my guy, you're walking on thin ice. I can almost hear you saying, hold on, she's not like her friends at all. Well, that's what she wants you to think, and obviously she's done a good job convincing you. While it's true that she's her own person and not an exact copy of her friends, let's be honest. If she's comfortable being around people with some pretty questionable habits, it's only a matter of time before she starts testing the waters herself. Bad habits have this sneaky way of spreading, you know? And those friends of hers, they're gonna be the ones she leans on for advice, the ones who will shape her decisions in life. I've been there, bud. I've seen how the people we surround ourselves with can end up defining us in ways we never imagined. It's like a domino effect. One bad influence can lead to a whole lot of trouble. And let me tell you, curiosity has a funny way of getting the best of us. So, while you might think you're immune to it all, just remember, that curiosity might one day catch up with her too. Number 5, she's not responsive. You find yourself in a situation when you're reaching out to her, but the response you get is far from warm. Your messages seem to go unanswered, and if you do manage to receive a reply, it's short and lacking enthusiasm. Even when you're physically together, her focus seems to be locked onto her phone, leaving you feeling unnoticed and disconnected. This scenario certainly warrants some consideration because it's becoming apparent that her interest might not be with you. It's crucial to recognize these signs as potential indicators that she might not be as invested in the relationship as you are. While relationships do go through the ups and downs, a consistent lack of responsiveness or engagement can point to a deeper issue. Number 6, still talks about her ex or compares you to her ex. Now, we all know that our experiences shape who we are today. It's only natural for past relationships to leave an impression on someone. But here's the deal. There is a very thin line between acknowledging the past and dwelling on it. Imagine this scenario. You're having a great conversation with the lady, and out of nowhere, she starts bringing up her ex and all the things they used to do together. Maybe it's the fond memories or the lessons learned, but it can be a bit unsettling, right? This has the same feeling as trying to enjoy a delicious meal while someone keeps reminding you of the last time they had an even better dish. It's not that you're insecure, it's just that you want her attention and focus to be on the present moment, the two of you building your own story. And it's even worse if she's constantly measuring you against her ex, like who was better at surprises or who was more attentive. It's like she's indirectly telling you that her mind is still wandering back to him. If every story starts with, well, my ex used to do it this way, you are staring at a red flag that could not possibly get any redder. Number 7, she is only after convenience. Think about it this way. Genuine connections involve give and take. If she's not willing to put in some effort or time to be with you, it could be an indicator that her feelings might not be as strong as you hope. In my own experience, I've learned that a person who's genuinely interested will make an effort, even when they're tired or busy. It's not about expecting her to be always available, but rather noticing the consistency in her willingness to communicate. Now, keep in mind that a strong connection goes beyond convenience. A girl who's truly into you will show it through her actions, like making time for you even when it's not the most convenient option. It's those little sacrifices that often speak volumes about her feelings. So pay attention to these cues and let them guide you in understanding where her heart truly lies. And finally, number 8, she feels entitled. Women with a sense of entitlement are all too common these days. They think just being a woman means they have a right to everything you own. You're constantly feeling the pressure to meet her demands like you're her personal genie granting wishes. Well, my friend, that is a classic sign of an entitled woman. She's like a leech draining you dry. And guess what? Once she's had her fill, she moves on to her next target. See, there's a difference between a high-value man and a pushover. High-value men do take care of their partners, but it's because they genuinely value and respect the relationship. It's not about blindly fulfilling every request. Remember, you're not in this to be at her beck and call. If she thinks it's her birthright to burden you with her needs, it's time for a reality check. A relationship should be a two-way street, where both partners contribute and support each other's growth. Now, here's the thing. An entitled partner is never satisfied. No matter how much you do, it's never enough. Gratitude? Practically non-existent in her dictionary. And let's not even talk about her expectations. Those are so far from reality, they belong in a fantasy world. But check it out, you'll notice the signs from the get-go. The moment you say hello, she's already mapping out her demands, ready to latch onto you. So, before you jump head first into a relationship with someone who's perpetually wrapped up in her own desires, take a moment. Reflect on whether this partnership aligns with your aspirations and dreams. Don't settle for a woman just because of her feelings or her beauty. Well, at least if your goal is to have a successful and long-lasting relationship. When you get a chance, watch the other videos we have on the channel if you want to learn more on being a high-value man.